Today is Monday, June 8th. Recapping two trades from last week. Last week was my birthday still, and birthday it did. So, recapping two trades from last week, Wednesday and Thursday, which would be June 3rd, the day after my birthday, and June 4th. So, I'll just start it from up here. As you can see, I only have one single line on my chart. Yes, I only had one perspective for the day. So, something that I'm implementing is letting the market build a story pretty much. So, I used to go trade hunting every single day pretty much. Now I'm holding myself to just 2 days. So, Wednesday and Thursday, as you can see, Monday, Tuesday, I don't really care. Friday, I don't really care. I still tap in and see where price is at. And I'm only trading gold now. I mean, silver, my bad. But yeah, so recapping these two trades, I got them off the 4 hour. The first one was just confidence, and the second one is really my edge, so to speak. So uh, it's 4 hours, so I can't replay. I'm gonna have to just show you like this. So plain and simple, what I was looking at is we have some form of consolidation here, alright, and market can decide to trend upwards or downwards. It chooses. I didn't choose for it. So the previous week gave us a break of this floor, this general floor area that price was unable to break since coming above there on May 28th. So with it breaking here now, let's call these two candles the break for real. So this is what makes me think, okay, it's no longer consolidating, and it's also not going to be more expensive because it's giving us cheaper prices. So with it giving us cheaper prices, coming around to the day that I trade, which is Wednesday, we had on the 1 hour time frame where I spotted this one now. So on the 1 hour, this would be that same break that I'm talking about. So it breaks these lows that it was unable to stay below. It even came below here a couple times during that previous period. I think that was last week, the week before, I should say. And this week it decided to break, retest, follow through pretty much. Um, I got this trade idea from the 4 hour time frame. So the trade idea is from 4 hour. So at this point, with it being a break, the trade isn't actually going to play out. But understanding the correlation between time frames, if it continues to sell off here, it means that my 4 hour outlook or trade plan would more than likely be accurate because um, from the 4 hour we just saw that it's breaking this level. We're expecting it to give us a new low, a new high, and a lower low, pretty much. I just understand the correlation between the time frames. I decided if it's breaking here and it's coming around the time that I trade, it makes sense for me to trade it. I'm only looking for a 1 to 2, really and truly. Just something to show that I understand what's going on and I can keep myself to these disciplined rules that I said. So Wednesday within my time frame, I trade New York. So I saw this like literally New York open. So break, as you can see, this is the indication that it's going to be bearish, and then we have some form of retracement. This time it actually retraced all the way up to the actual level that I had marked off. Obviously that was too early though. That's 6 o'clock in the morning. The London session is about the New York session is about 9:30 for real, when volatility comes into gold and silver specifically, but we're only trading silver these days. So on the 15 minute, or it was probably the 5 minutes, since it was right around 9:30. So even on the 15 minute, you can see where the trade idea comes from. So the same thing that I was looking at on the higher time frame is the same thing I'm looking at here. If we're looking at it on the 15 minute, my entry would be this candle here. That orange candle there. Reason being, This is the low. We're trying to sell it off. So if it gives any indication it's going below here, I want it during the time that I trade. So this would have been my entry. But I was actually looking at this on the 5 minute time frame, which gave me a much cleaner entry. So on the 5 minute, you can better see now that it was already broken here, coming back up in and continued through. So even doing this by itself is an indication that it's going to continue bearish, but I kind of jumped the gun, to be honest. Like, I really should have waited for both of these candles together, but I was pretty confident in my trade. So as soon as this candle closed, I was in, and that's about 9:15. That's before market open. Nope, I lied. It's around here. Mm, yeah, it was this candle actually. It was before the market open. I was a bit eager that day. Didn't even notice. Okay, but it worked out. I might have to tweak that a little bit. But 1 to 2 risk. That was over within like 15-40 minutes, something like that. From about here, 9:20 to 9:45, so 15 minutes. And just like that. Alright, the next trade is my actual A plus trade, so to speak. So working with the same indication from before, but now it's playing out on the higher time frame, the time frame that I actually spotted it on. Because for me to trade the 4 hour price action or a structure, we would have to wait for price to come up to those levels. I just decided to trade within the 1 hour because it gave that opportunity during, and I had smaller expectations, especially because it's a Wednesday and this is not the actual leg that I wanted. This is the leg that I wanted. So on the 4 hour, we still have the break of this level here and a pullback up into this area. Now I will admit, when I was recapping that night, I was wondering, would it continue to be bullish? So, I mean, would it continue to be bullish in that retracement? Obviously, I know it's a retracement because I'm waiting for it to come here to sell. But while it's retracing, I was also looking at it like, would it present an opportunity to buy? Because if it's a reversal, it's going to show on the 1 hour before it shows on the 4 hour. But that's where your discipline would come in a sense of the trade that I'm looking for is based on the 4 hour structure. I can't necessarily use 1 hour structure to invalidate it. It has to show on the 4 hour. So it would take some while for me to really realize. What I was looking at is if it came back above here, my seller level, if it came back above here and stayed above here, then I would be more inclined to buy. But it didn't. It literally just wicked up there and ran right off. I actually had this set to 1 to 2 as well. So about here. But because I had the win from yesterday, this one I wanted to run. So let me show you my entry on this as well. So this one also a 5 minute entry. Seems to be better for me on silver. I'm going to take note of that as well. Yeah, so coming into the time that I trade, 9:50. So this is after New York Open. I really try to grab trades around 10, but sometimes I'm on the road or anything is going on. So what my entry came from is obviously the same level that I was waiting to sell from. Notice that my stops are just right above that level, and I just wanted it to show bearish momentum during the New York session, which we got at 9:50, and that was my entry. Look at the size of that bearish candle. Look at the size of that. So within from 9:50 to 10:50. So I was in this trade fully for an hour. Once it hit TP, I took 75% off and just let it run. where I ended up stopping it out. Hold on. Where I ended up stopping it out was about here, somewhere in here, when it started to slow down on the Friday. I decided to close it out. So we got a extra little cheese over there, but imagine if I had let it run all the way out through here. But anyways, it's a good week last week. Um, Hopefully I get some good trades this week and I can make another video. You know that.